speech by Hassan Nasrallah, the Lebanese Hezbollah leader. And we can bring in Dr. Andreas Krieg. He's an associate professor at the School of Security Studies at King's College London. Andreas Krieg, what would be your first assessment of this speech? As you know, it was widely anticipated for what message it would send to Lebanese Hezbollah fighters and their allies, including Iran, across the region, what he calls the axis of resistance.
Yeah, hi, good evening. I think it was very underwhelming considering how much mobilization was done around the anticipation of that speech. And then what came out really was an elderly spokesperson or a statesman actually giving a sort of press statement where, you know, we've heard the sort of narratives that we heard from Iran's axis of resistance vis-a-vis Israel and Palestine. There was nothing surprising in there. He obviously says that Iran had nothing to do with the attack on the 7th of October. He clearly said this was a Palestinian operation, thereby kind of taking almost dissociating himself from what happened on the 7th of October, and also saying that, you know, we were all saying and anticipating a potential kind of clear demarcation of a red line, which didn't really come. I mean, he said he wants a ceasefire. He says he doesn't want to further escalation in Gaza that would eradicate Hamas, which I think is kind of the red line that we're all talking about now. I think this is where Hezbollah will probably draw the line in terms of not getting involved. But it also shows Hezbollah is a fairly rational and pragmatic leader, as many people have anticipated, or organization. They're an organization that doesn't want to escalate further beyond the boundaries that have been set. And the tit-for-tat war has certainly escalated, but both sides, Israel and Hezbollah, don't really want to open this floodgate of a northern border. And I think we will still see this conflict being contained in the kind of 3 to 5 kilometer zone north and south of the Lebanese-Israeli border, which in itself that means there is no escalation. But then the question mark is really if Israel is going further in, further putting pressure on Gaza City and eradicating Hamas, making efforts to eradicate Hamas, whether it's even possible is, you know, might be debatable. I think it's not militarily, at least. But if there is more pressure being put on Hamas, eventually Hezbollah will have to escalate. And Israel has understood that this is kind of the message of deterrence, of saying there are certain red lines that they are not allowed to cross.
Andreas Krieg, I'm really